In this demo, I will showcase the advanced settings for CamoEvo and how to manually set up a camouflage evolution game without using CamoEvo's UI. To do this, first I'm going to launch CamoEvo. As you can see, the UI is loaded up, and I'm going to create a new game. For the backgrounds, I'm going to use the same background images that was used for the first tutorial. For targets, instead of choosing one of these targets, I'm going to choose one of the animal-shaped targets. I'm going to go with grasshopper, and then we'll go to advanced settings. Here you have an array of different generations you can choose, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. We're going to go with 5 generations. Then you're given the option to choose the population size. This is the number of individuals that will be given in a particular generation. We're going to go with 12, so it's quick. Then you've got group size. This is the number of individuals presented per slide. Currently you can only do up to 6. I hope to in future versions to be able to expand this number. We're going to go with 2. Then you've got timeout time. This is how long people are allowed to search. I'm going to go with 10 seconds. Try and make the game quick. Then we have your color space. This is particularly important regarding the camouflage evolution, as the starting color will influence the speed of the evolution and the range of different colors in which the population will be able to explore. So within this, we've got the full color space. This is the full CIE lab gamut. So this is the full range of luminance and of A and B values. So A is the red-greenness and B is the blue-yellowness. We've got the camo space, which is a custom space which is designed to restrict the range to those in which you typically find in natural environments and are more typical of camouflaged animals. You've got the option of a measure space. This allows you to select one of the background images and to create a color space based on that. We're going to go with the measure space. It's also worth mentioning that there's also the option of a custom space in which you can manually enter all of the LAB values. So we're going to select the first image here. And as you can see, it has now loaded up the LAB color space. So this is the range of colors within 2 standard deviations of the mean of that background. Yes, we are happy with that color space. Now you have the exploration space. So within CamoEvo, the space of the starting population can be narrower than the space in which the entirety of the system can explore. We're going to go with the natural space as a full exploration. And then you're given the option of selecting a fitness value. If you select camouflage, then fitness will be based on the length of the time to capture the target. So targets which take longer to find are more likely to survive. If you go for signaling, it inverts those values. So individuals which take less time to find are more likely to survive. We're going to go with camouflage. We're going to name this population grass. And it should generate our population. If I go into the plugins folder, we can find the grasshopper population. If we go into the setting population, you will see that the start space is different from the color space. So this indicates the range of different colors occupied by the starting population. This indicates the range in which the system is able to explore across the evolution between each generation. And here are our targets. As you can see, rather than being very diverse in color, the colorations are limited to a range more akin to that found within the leaf litter background. This can help speed up the rate in which the color match improves and can allow pattern match to be a bigger component earlier on in terms of the fitness. If I play the game, you can see here, or not see here, that instead of there being one target, there is two. Instead of one target, there's two. Okay. And so that's how we can use the advanced settings to customize the game. However, those of you who have read the default settings regarding the genetic algorithms will realize that there's a potential problem with this system. Individuals that are found second are going to have a higher fitness by default because of the time it takes you to click on the prior target. If the algorithm is selecting the top third for breeding, you're potentially getting individuals whose fitness is largely influenced by the presence of a second individual as opposed to them actually being fitter. So, what can we do in order to try and change the algorithm in order to be better suited? Well, to do that, we're going to make a population from scratch. The easiest way to do that is actually to take an existing copy of a population that has been made by CamoEvo. So we're going to copy Grasshopper and rename it as custom. We're going to delete GenPat 0 and GenPat 1. So that's deleting all the patterns that have been generated. And we're going to delete all of the genes and all of the record.txt files. This leaves us with just the backgrounds, just the algorithm settings, and the game and population settings. We're going to tweak the algorithm settings. In the future, I will add labels to all of these. You can do this within the CamoEvo UI, but this will change the default settings. So if you use the Edit Algorithm menu, this will change the default settings that's used by all systems. We don't want to do that. Instead, I'm going to change it so the number deleted is 0.5 and the number they get to breed is 0.5. And I'm going to save that. I'm going to go into the settings population. I'm going to change it so that the starting color space and the full color space are the same. So I want something that's within the color space of the actual background. The measure method has been set to rank. This is done automatically by CamoEvo. This means that the fitness value, instead of being the survival time, is actually the order in which it was found on that background. So it becomes a value of 1 or 2, with 2 being fitter. We're going to keep that. This also particularly makes the existence of the third, being the population disseminator, not as effective. So we've changed the number deleted to 0.5. We're going to change the fitness value to signaling. So now it's going to be selecting for the ones that take less time to find. So now what we've essentially done is we've created a binary choice experiment where you have 2 targets per screen and you're selecting the one that is easier to find. If we go into settings game, I found that the targets were quite small, so I'm just going to up the target size. I'm going to keep the number per side as 2. I'm going to keep the timeout time as 1000. I'm going to change it so I'm going to keep the capture method as being rank. I'm going to keep the spawn method as being random. For the transition method, I'm going to keep that as the center. What I am going to change from all this, though, is the fail trigger. This will allow the experiment to go a little bit faster. So I'm going to make it so miss is considered the fail trigger. So now, once you've clicked one of the targets, it will count it as being as a miss for the other target. I'm now going to open up the UI, and I can load the population from here because it's in the populations folder. But you can do this independently of the UI. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move the custom. I'm going to rename it custom pop to make it clearer. I'm going to copy and paste it outside of the CamoEvo file. So now it's located within my tutorials folder. As you can see, it's no longer present within the UI. Instead, I'm going to go Plugins, CamoRec, Game Module, Camouflage Evolution, and I'm going to select a directory, Custom Population, and it will load it up from there. Now, once I've clicked on a target, the other one is considered a fail. And we've essentially created a binary choice where the individual that's operating within the color space of the background that is the most conspicuous is the most likely to survive. So that is an example of how we can use the advanced settings and how we can customize the settings ourselves.